During the torturing, I was always suffocated with a mask, and there was this helicopter training, and a stick was put inside your knees and you had to stretch your knees. During that period, you were suffocated.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
A brutal reminder of where South Africa comes from. Hundreds of people suffered at the hands of the Apartheid police. After the dawn of democracy, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, a court-like restorative justice body, was set up. Many victims shared their experience and testimonies of what they endured during the white supremacist regime. But the recent utterances by the last apartheid president, FW de Klerk, have grazed old scars.
I said to the TRC that I considered FW de Klerk politically and morally responsible for what happened to me because I was a victim of a death squad at the time that he was the president. And I spoke on one occasion to Frederick van Zyl-Slabbert, the then leader of the white opposition, and he told me that he personally went to de Klerk and told him about the death squads. Now, even after that, de Klerk did nothing to disband the death squads, which were part of the machinery of the state.
For Thembi Nkadimeng and the family, it's taken over 20 years to find closure.
What is a worry to me and disempowering was our government. The government of today, which should have held those who did not qualify for amnesty responsible. So we've missed a good 25 years of reminding de Klerk and making sure that he understands that this was a crime against humanity, but also respect black people. Apartheid was direct to all of us, worse to others. I lost a sister.
With old wounds reopened and anger reignited in the last few days, there are growing calls for a national dialogue to assist all those affected by apartheid to find closure.
It's also a scathing indictment of the failure of our own democratically elected state to heed the recommendations of the Truth Commission when in 1998 we handed over the list of names and the cases that we asked them to investigate and prosecute. And they did nothing.
The Department of Justice and Correctional Services says they are aware of claims that there is interference by the executive in the tracking and prosecution of perpetrators of apartheid crimes. The department has vowed to put the claims under scrutiny.
It is a matter that is being looked into, and to ensure that at least where it is alleged that there was an interference with the mandate of the NPA on any matter, not just these types of matters, that must be addressed. Remember, the NPA at all material times has an obligation to prosecute without fear, favor or prejudice. And where this has been violated because it's a constitutional injunction, I think then action has to be taken. So there are processes in place currently emanating from the João Rodrigues judgment to deal with that aspect.
Years after the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was established, some of the victims and families of apartheid crimes are still without closure. Meanwhile, the National Prosecuting Authority has yet to comment on whether there's progress on prosecutions that were recommended by the Commission. Natasha Piri, SABC News, Johannesburg.